What's good, everyone? Audiolithic Mac, and I'm back with another video. Now, in this video right here, I'm going to start off with the basics, right? Now, remember in my last video where I told all the viewers that we're going to start a producer, right, business, right? We're going to get the materials, everything, the equipment that we need for a basic producer desk, right? So we can start making music and hopefully earn some money, right? So this is the intro to that video, right? This is the intro right here on how to start a business as a desktop producer, right? How to make money as a desktop producer. Now, the first thing we have to do is become a desktop producer, right? So we have to get equipment, right? Equipment that can help us and ensure that we are successful in this endeavor, right? Now, we're not talking about getting all the major high-end gear right now. We're talking about a basic desktop setup that we can start off with, you know, to get ourselves up and running. Now, the first thing we're going to purchase, right, is this Universal Audio Apollo Twin X Duo, right? A Twin X. And the price is around $1,000 before taxes, right? And of course, with this, you get plugins and stuff like that and access to buy additional plugins from the UAD store, right? So this will be our interface that we will use to input sound and to hear sound through our speakers, right? Next, we have a monitor, right? I chose this 27-inch Samsung NVIDIA G-Sync monitor, the same one that I have, right? And it's around $330 before taxes, right? And then we have the Native Instruments Machine Plus. Now, you want to have some type of exposure to Native Instruments because they have great plugins, and their Play series of sound packs are pretty decent. So I would suggest getting one, right? So you can, you know, dilly dabble with the Native Instruments array of sounds, right? So we have the Machine Plus, which is for $1,000 right here. And of course, you can pay $84 a month with Zounds. I believe this comes from Zounds. So whichever one, but we're talking about initial costs here, as if you already had the money to pay for it, right? So $1,000 for this unit right here. And now we're going to get some Logitech speakers from Best Buy. Yes, these speakers are around $70 and they're Bluetooth as well. So we're going to get these speakers, right, as like desktop speakers where we can hear sound from our computer, right? And we also can probably hook these sounds up to a interface as well, along with other type of gear such as the Machine Plus and the MPC as well. Next, we have the Logitech MK850 array of a keyboard and a mouse combination, right? A keyboard and mouse combination. Now, this is for $100, right? Because we got to have a keyboard and a mouse to be able to perform applications on our desktop computer, right? Next, we have Mogami Gold cables. Now, these cables are expensive, right? But the quality of these cables are, you see the stars. You got 5 stars on both cables. So I would get 2 XLRs, right? You can go with 10-inch, or you can go a cheaper route and get a 5-inch. But 10-inch is pretty neutral, right? So I chose the 10-inch. You get 2 of these for $79.95, a left and a right, and you get 2 TRS or TS cables, right? But you want to get the stereo The one with 2 markers. Don't get these right here with the 1 black stripe, right? Those are mono. You want to get the cables with the 2 stripes on it, right? I should have made that clear in the image though. So don't get the one with the 1 stripe. Get the one with the 2 stripes, because that will minimize noise in your sound. And all 4 of these are around 80 bucks, right? 80 bucks times 4. So that's $320 for these cables. Then we have the Vengeance, right? The Vengeance RAM. Now these are 2 sticks of 32 gigs. Now you get both of these in 1 pack for $650 before taxes, right? I mean, these things, it's expensive, boy. I'm telling you that the tally is moving up. Now here's a Corsair tower, which is 279 bucks, where you can place all your components for your gaming PC. Now the reason why I'm building a gaming PC is because it's relatively cheaper to do so versus buying one already complete. Now you can get some that are already complete for a cheaper price, but they won't have the maximum components within that tower. So this is why I decided to do as I did with my tower, was buy one and just build my own gaming desktop. Okay. Now we have the Corsair iQ Link Titan, right? This is a cooling system, right, for your desktop. And you see you have the little display right there for the temperature, right? And this runs at $220 before tax. Then we have a SanDisk. Now you can choose any one you want, right? But I'm choosing this one for educational purposes, right? This is a 2 terabyte SanDisk PCIe storage, right? Where you can, instead of using the the bigger size storage units, right? Versus, back in the days we had those little big things with a little motor in it. But when it comes to SD cards, right, they end up being very small compared to the older HD models, right? Now you have the SD models, which are smaller, and now you have the PCIe models, which are even smaller but have the same capabilities when it comes to storage and performance, right? Well, questionably better performance. So these run around $670, right? And you use this to input your system as far as Windows and all that, and all your plugins and all your programs and software onto this. And you also have enough space where you can probably add some other applications as well. But what I normally tend to do is get a separate storage for that, an external storage where you can actually input inside of your computer or outside of your computer. So I would get one of those as well for any bulky high gigabyte applications, right? Or sounds or wave sounds or drum kits or whatever. I would get that instead of using that for my operating and booting PCIe storage, if that makes sense. Now then you have the Intel Core Ultra i9 processor, right? You got to have a processor for your gaming PC. Now this runs around $620, right? $620. These things have really gone up since I purchased mine. So you can find one cheaper, please do. But for this purpose, the price is $620. Now you would need some bigger speakers, right? You don't want to get all fancy and get all the $1,000 speakers for this setup. So just get something basic like these KRKs right here. You can get these KRKs for around $299 to $319 a piece, depending on the size, right? So for this example, I chose the $319 Rocket 8s, and we're going to get 2 of those for a left and a right pairing. And now we have the Asus Extreme motherboard right here. Now this motherboard is Thunderbolt 4, so you are able to hook up your Apollo Twin X, which has a Thunderbolt output, right? You can hook that up into this motherboard. So you make sure you have a motherboard that is Thunderbolt 4, right? Okay. You want Thunderbolt. You don't want just USB. You'll be in trouble then. You want Thunderbolt 4 for your motherboard. And this motherboard runs around $600, right? $600. This is the one I have. Next, we want something where you can get a little more flexibility when it comes to beat making, and you can output the sounds into your interface. And this is why I chose the Akai MPC Live 3. It has the same features as the MPC XL other than the external features. But you can do the same thing with this that you can do with the MPC XL, right? And it's much cheaper at around $1,700, right? $1,700 before taxes. Now this is a perfect unit that's small, that can fit your desktop, won't take up a lot of space, and plus it's portable. So I would recommend getting this, right? This is Akai Professional MPC Live 3 for any beginner when it comes to making beats. Next we have a MIDI controller. So I chose the FL Key 49, which I own. You have to have something where you can play keys with. So this is why I chose this one. And of course, it's compatible with FL Studio. So this would be a perfect choice for those FL Studio producers, right? And the cost is $250 before taxes. Now this right here is really, really pricey right here. But it's something that you may consider getting. And it has everything you need, right, when it comes to producing music. And that is the Complete 26 Collector's Edition, right? The Collector's Edition has an vast array of sounds and plugins, etc., to help you in your producer endeavor, right? Now, it's $19.50 before taxes, but the price does go down during the holiday season, or or Black Friday pricing, or for some special promotion throughout the year. So keep in mind that you don't have to pay this price. You can always wait when they have a sale going on. So, but for this purpose, we're going to spend $19.50. Ouch. Now, of course, there's FL Studio, right? There's FL Studio for $499, or I think it was $469 or $450, right? $450 that you also can use as a DAW, because you got to have a digital audio workstation to be able to make beats and make music, right? So we're going to stick with FL Studio. We're not going to dig into Pro Tools and all that stuff just yet. We're going to stick with making something in FL Studio, right? Now, we're going to treat this producer endeavor as a business, right? So the first thing we need to do is tally up all of our assets that we just purchased to start our endeavor of being a music desktop producer, right? So we have tallied all the items that we have purchased to begin our endeavor, right? And as you can see here, the total is $10,503, right? That's just for a desktop producer, right? Now, of course, you can find these items cheap on Reverb or on Amazon, right? But like I stated before, it's still going to cost you multiple thousands of dollars, right, for this setup. And I didn't even include the desk. The desk alone is around $500. So you have to add a $500 desk to the tally as well, which could boost it up to $1050, right? 10,000. Well, no. Yeah, 10,500. Well, no, that would be $11,000. Yeah, that would be $11,000 then. Now, keep in mind, you have to have cash, right? as an owner. And I want you to keep this in mind as well. You don't need an LLC. You don't need an LLC to start this business. Any income that you acquire, right, or receive from being a producer, you can file as ordinary income to your taxes, right? So you don't need to get an LLC. That's just spending unnecessary money. And why would you get an LLC when you haven't even made any money yet? There's no clientele yet. So you're just wasting your money and your time getting one at this point. You need to set up your business where you actually have clients, right? Money coming in, right? A steady flow of income. That's what you need first. That's what you need to concentrate on first. So don't worry about any LLCs for now. What you need to focus on is getting clients, getting people that you can make beats for or make songs for. That's what you need right now is clients. So here are our asset total right here, right? Because this is what's known as a balance sheet. You have assets, liabilities, and equity, right? So our assets currently, right now, are at $12,503, right? Or if you add the desk, $13,003, right? We have $2,000 cash on hand into our owner's equity. As you see right there, 12,503 in our owner's equity, because we added that to our business, right? To our endeavor, $2,000 in cash. So that is an asset, right? Though all of these are assets, right? So I did not add any miscellaneous software, right? That's what you have to add that later on. But keep in mind that software are sunk costs. So once you spend money on software, your money is gone. There's no, resale value right there. But the hardware, for instance, you can resell that and get some of your money back. But there's also something called depreciation, right? Where you can depreciate your hardware, right, to zero for tax purposes. But that's something we'll dig down the road later, right? So you don't have any liabilities yet. So basically you have assets, zero liabilities, and equity, right? So what is next to do after we have notated our expenditures and our assets and our equity? Well, we start hooking everything up and we start making music. That's what we do first. We start making music. And the next video, that's exactly what we will do. We will start making music, right? And let's see how far it will get us. And let's see how much money we can actually accrue and how much time it will take us to make some money or to earn some money. This is Audiolithic Mac, and I will be back with another video regarding how to become a desktop producer and earn money from it as a business. Take care and be blessed.